Did you know that you can delegate grants? I started in 2007 with a $5,000 grant from Pennsylvania. And there are grants for every part of your business, from rent to repairs to marketing, etc. So these are new grants by state that you can apply for. Let's get started. Hey everyone, I'm Rinde from AskRinde. Welcome. Please subscribe to the #1 community for real estate, income, grants, and credit. So if you're struggling or you're thriving with your business, these are new grants by state that you can apply for. And if you'd like to know if there are grants available in your state, make sure you drop your city and your state in the comment section below so we can make sure that we cover you. We also include new grants in our monthly grant list for all 50 states in our resource area on my website, AskRinde.com. #1, New York, Albany, the Small Business Vitality Grant Program, $2,000 to $15,000 in grants. So the Small Business Vitality Grant Program is back at it again with round 2. We covered round 1 here on my channel, and the great thing about this grant program is that they actually have grant open houses in order to be able to help the entrepreneurs that are applying for the grants get an understanding of the process of applying for the grants, but also how they can actually use the resources to grow and expand and also win with their businesses. And the grants are aimed at helping these businesses with recovery, marketing, as well as getting equipment for their businesses. Now, in order to apply for this grant, you'll need to complete their intake form, which is a one-page form on their website. And you can actually do this by using AI. Now, we actually have many recommendations of AI and how to integrate AI into your business in our AI Grants Guide, which we've actually been talking about recently here on my channel. You can get our AI Grants Guide by actually emailing me at askrindenetwork@gmail.com. Now, as you start to go through the form, you'll see that they want your email address. They also want to establish the fact that your business is located in Albany, which is one of the criteria in order to apply for this grant. So you actually have to fill out your applicant's name, your business name, your EIN number, your business address, your zip code, your number of employees, the type of company that you have, your primary email address, your primary phone number. And here we see that they actually want to see what your projected use of funds are. So in this case, they're actually asking you, what are you going to be using the funds for? Now, as you see, we've shared here many times on my channel about the various grants. We've covered hundreds and thousands of grants here on my channel, and you can see that many times the grants will either tell you what you can actually use the funds for, but in this case, they're asking you what you would actually use the funds for. So it goes either way. When you're applying for the grant, you'll see that in some cases they will ask you, what do you plan to use the money for? And that's what I'm talking about delegating grants. When you actually see a grant and you see that the grant is specifically used for marketing, you can actually delegate that grant and apply for that grant for your marketing. If you might see another grant that actually is specifically for rent and utilities and also operating expenses, you can apply for that grant and actually use that specifically for your operating expenses or your rent and your utilities. There's no cap on how many grants you can apply for. You can apply for 10,000 grants per year. There's no cap and there's no limit to the amount of grants that you can receive on an annual basis. So as I shared, grants have criteria. So in this round, they've actually expanded the criteria by asking you what you're going to be using the funds for. But in round 1, they actually specifically delegated those grants to be used for recovery, equipment purchase, facade improvement, as well as marketing. So that in that case, they actually delegated and specifically stated that the grants must be used for those purposes. However, in this round, they've actually opened up the criteria to actually ask you and field from you what you need the money for. Now, one of the additional criteria for this grant is that you actually must meet with an SBDC counselor when you're actually going through the process after submitting this intake form. And as I shared earlier, one of the big values for this grant and grant programs like this is that they actually have grant open houses. So for this particular grant, they're having a grant open house on August 17th, which you can actually attend. And you get an opportunity after you submitted the intake form to meet with the SBDC counselor to go through the process of where you are with your business, what you're needing the money for, and how to actually properly submit and also put yourself in a place where you can actually win the grant. So going through the rest of the intake form, they actually have privacy statements as well as disclosure statements that you simply need to read through. And at the bottom, you electronically sign and submit the form. And that's it. It's as simple as that. Now, as I shared earlier, we actually use AI to actually apply for many of our grants from all around the country, and it's sped up the process dramatically for us. So you can actually use that in cases like this where they actually have electronic forms that you can actually simply fill out on one page and submit. So once you've submitted on this intake form, you're well on your way to applying for this $2,000 to $15,000 in grants. Now, if you'd like to get more information and apply for this grant, you can actually go directly to their website at businessvitalityalbany.org. Number 2, Charlotte, North Carolina, the Beyond Open Grant, $10,000 to $150,000 in grants. So the Beyond Open Grant is open for round 2. So this is actually a $20 million grant specifically for diverse-owned businesses. So we actually covered round 1 here on my channel, where they saw actually over 3,200 applications come in for round 1. So this is actually a multi-round grant program, and they actually have 3 rounds for a total of $15 million in grants that's been allocated for these diverse-owned businesses. So for each round, they're giving out over $5 million in grants. And this is actually a competitive grant program, and they're expected to give over $5 million to 150 businesses this round. So the grants can actually be used for capital assets, technology, as well as real estate. So yes, this is actually one of the grants that you can actually use specifically for real estate. So this $10,000 to $150,000 in grants is being administered by the Foundations of the Carolinas. And we have a lot of information on the foundation in our resource area on my website, AskRinde.com. So to qualify to apply for this $10,000 to $150,000 in grants, you must meet the following criteria. So this grant is actually based on the corridors of opportunity. So to qualify, you actually must be located in their corridors of opportunity zone. This is actually a specific area and corridor that they're actually targeting to give out this $10,000 to $150,000 in grants. Number 2, you also must be registered with the Secretary of State of North Carolina. So the deadline to apply for the $10,000 to $150,000 in grants is August 31st at 12 p.m. Now, I highly encourage you to lock in on grant programs like this because, as I've shared, this is actually a 3-round grant. So they actually have multiple rounds. So if you've gone for round 1, you didn't get it, you can actually go for round 2. As you're seeing, they're slightly changing the criteria, and they're actually putting you in a position where you can actually delegate these grants specifically for various uses in your business. So to actually apply for this grant and to get more information, you can actually go directly to the Foundation of the Carolinas website at beyondopenclt.com. Number 3, Pennsylvania, Lycoming County, the Seven Mountains Media Business Grant, $10,000 in grant. So Seven Mountains Media, a Pennsylvania-based media business, has set aside about $30,000 to award to 3 local businesses. And these $10,000 grants are meant to help with jobs as well as economic growth. And the grants should be used specifically for marketing as well as media growth. So in line with Seven Mountain Media's business, they actually want to make sure that they spur and help businesses with marketing, with website creation, with marketing, email marketing, with videography, with knowing how to actually navigate the online space and market their businesses properly. And to qualify to apply for this $10,000 grant from Seven Mountains Media, your business must meet the following criteria. Number 1, no franchises allowed. So for this grant, they are not allowing any franchises to apply for this $10,000 grant. Number 2, you must have between 3 and 50 employees. Number 3, you must be a for-profit business. And finally, number 4, you must have been in business for at least 1 year. So the deadline to apply for this $10,000 grant is August 30th. Now you can get more information and apply for this grant from Seven Mountain Media by going directly to their website at bigfootlegendspa.com. So these are just a few of the new grants by state. By popular demand, we're going to be covering all locations. So if you'd like us to cover your city and your state, make sure you drop your city and your state in the comment section below so we can make sure that we cover you. Also, our Grants Masterclass is still open. So if you'd like to actually properly set up your business, know how to get your business in position to start to apply for grants. This is not paying people to apply for grants. This is actually doing it for yourself, knowing how to rinse and repeat the process and knowing how to actually get millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands, and thousands of dollars coming into your business as an income stream, as a part of your bottom line. If you'd like to know how to actually do this and execute this repeatedly every single month, make sure you join us for our Grants Masterclass. We apply for grants every Monday here at AskRinde. We actually do this ourselves. So the same thing that we share with you, we're doing for our business. So if you'd like to tap in and learn how to actually get this executed and done for your business, make sure you go to my website at AskRinde.com, click on grants, and get started today. So if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. You can also email me anytime. My email address is askrindenetwork@gmail.com. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.